I haven't recorded a podcast in a long time, but
Interesting. When's the last time you recorded?
that will be November. That was Remy Baggins. But yeah, so I don't know how to do my intro again, so I'm just going to let this.
I hate intros.
But welcome back to another episode of the Who Made a Song Pod. As usual, if it's your first time, make sure to like, subscribe, leave a rating so that more people can get to listen to this pod and like see all the good stuff and blah blah blah. You guys know what to do. Today I've been looking for a lot of ghosts in the music industry. In the music industry for, I dare say, 6-7 years. And I finally found one of them out of like the 12 that I'm looking for.
So one of the 12 ghosts. Interesting.
But yeah, today on the pod we have a very special guest, and I'm sure a lot of people will probably be surprised when they find out the work you've done. This is very personal to me because it's been a long time coming, based off of the mutual people we've both worked with. Right. So Chris Rio Muyiwa. But without further ado, guys, we have Dave October on the pod.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I want to say also, some people might know you as IBK.
Yes.
But I don't know if anybody knows you. Maybe like 2 people.
Very few people know me as Dave October because that was a name change that happened last year. Because one, there was so many IBKs in the industry.
Really?
Yes, there's at least 12 IBKs, probably even more.
I'm very
there's
shocked.
Bishop Boy, there's the engineer IBK. And I just felt like it was necessary to kind of carve a space
for yourself.
For myself.
And that's a very interesting name, Dave October.
Yeah.
Well, so let's even start from there. Where did that name come from?
It came from being frustrated about not finding a name for days. So I was just writing a bunch of names down. Like, it didn't just come to me. It wasn't one of those ones. Because all my life, I've been called IBK and Ibukun. Right? So it's like, how do I actually start to accept another identity? Till now, when people call me Dave October, it's still kind of strange.
I can imagine.
My sister told me, insists on calling me Dave October, and it's so strange. I almost don't turn. What if you call me IBK? Like,
crazy.
So yeah, I'm still kind of
getting used to
it. But yeah, it was just important to not shoot myself in the foot from the start, because I was about to start a new journey. Like, I don't know how to start getting lost with everyone else again. So I looked around. There's no other Dave Octobers in the world that are doing what I do. So why not? Hopefully one day it catches on. But for now, I like the name Dave, though. I like just Dave.
But then there's so many Davids too, or Daves. I mean, my name is David.
Right. Oh yeah, I guess it's cool. I like when people call me Dave because it's like such a straight.
But is Dave
my name is David. My middle name is David.
Oh, fine. That's interesting.
Ibukunoluwa David Owolabi.
Okay, so you already answered one question I was going to ask, because in the process of doing your research, because I'm here to understand like who Dave October is, but prior to Dave October, there's like this whole other person, or this whole other, what's this, alter ego, should I say. And in the process of research, I came across the surname Owolabi, and I'm a BMI artist too, so I check BMI repertoire for everybody I'm going to check, because they have like people from PRS and all of that. So basically, are you Tommy O's brother?
Oh yeah.
Ah, that's crazy.
She's my big sister.
That's crazy.
Yeah, she's my...
Because I saw the surname, but I was like, Owolabi is a very, not out of disrespect, but very common name in Yoruba. In the Yoruba
of course.
Space.
Yeah.
So I was like, nah, I have to ask you that, because it's very rare to see 2 children in a family do music.
Shout out to my mom, man, because think I was speaking with Fumbi the other day in the studio, and I just remembered how it was my mom that put myself and Tommy in the studio the very first time. You need to get me a beat. I told you I speak very quietly. I'll try to be louder. But yeah, Tommy was singing, but I didn't know she could actually make songs. I was a producer. I was just doing
What's
my
the
thing.
age gap between you guys?
Age gap, 3 years.
Okay, so it's still like...
Yeah, it's not crazy. It's not crazy. But there's someone between us.
Oh, how many are you?
It's 3 of us.
That's a
It's
very
just
close...
very close gap. Yeah, my brother is 2 years older. So she's 3 years older. I'm the last.
so she's the first.
She's the first. Yeah, I'm the last child.
Interesting.
But yeah.
Does your middle brother do me? So
No,
you don't
he
even look
doesn't.
like the last born.
No, interesting.
You don't.
What qualifies someone to look like
I
a
think
last born?
there's like a general...
But-
You know last borns when you see them. And I'm not like a person that told me, but
Right.
I would think she's the last born.
Interesting. Yeah,
But
we get that a lot. Yeah, we get that a lot, I think.
So back to
Yeah.
how like your mom paved the way for that.
Yeah. So Tommy was singing. I didn't even know she was good. We were living in the same house. I didn't know how good she was. I just knew that she could sing some stuff here and there. And I was producing. I was more actively involved in the music scene at that point already. I was already releasing some music with Nonso.
What year was this?
I got into CU 2011, so I'd say 2013.
So you mentioned the school. I thought you wouldn't want to mention
no,
this.
why not? See, that's my school now. I can't
Because a lot
deny
of
it.
people, I don't need to tell you the experience. You finished from CU.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so you went
I
through
did.
the whole
Of
4 or
course,
5
bro.
years
Of course, every last minute of it.
from SWEP, TTG.
Every last
I don't know. You
minute.
did engineering?
No, I did business admin.
Business. Okay, so you went
So I
CDS.
basically didn't do anything.
But you did TTG, you
Yeah.
did chapel services, you did. So you know how we roll.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. I mean, it was music helped me through Cobhams University in many ways. That's the only thing I remember when I think back. Like I remember like stabbing chapel services and making music in Nonso's hall, because Nonso's hall porter was like, he didn't give a fuck about anything. Like he literally comes to the window and says, "Nonso, Ibukun, you're stabbing." Okay, and just walk away. Like, cool. So yeah, that was our spot for
I mean,
a
you
while.
can't try that these days because you sign in chapel service with your fingerprint.
They tried to start that thing when we were there.
Bro, it's working. In fact, now chapel services
They're now
linked
efficient.
bro, chapel services are linked to your class attendance.
Fuck.
It's wild. But let's not go into that trauma.
Thank God I got out of downtime. But yeah, that was a fun experience. And after school, I was at home working my mom built a studio in the back of our house.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was running sessions from there. She also had a little music thing going on. Like she was a proper gospel artist.
That makes sense.
She raised us on that in many ways. Yeah, she had a studio and I was using the studio. And my mom was like, Tommy, you sing now. IBK, you make beats. You guys go inside the studio. And that day we made Pieces, which was Tommy's first ever like release. And from there, I think the next day or so, we made Versus, and we made basically all the songs that started off Tommy's whole thing. First 5, 6 songs all happened in that space during that time period. So yeah, it was interesting, and to see what that did. It was just like an experiment mostly. Like, let's just see what we can come up with. And that was the first time I started mixing again. Yeah,
So you were doing everything.
I was doing everything. I mean, we were writing together. I was producing. She would sing. She'd leave me in the studio. I'd mix. If you listen back to those mixes, they're terrible, but like terrible mixes. But they got the job done.
It's
at the
only
time.
right. Like when you start out there like that.
And then I
But
can't listen to
I
any
find
of
that
those.
very interesting because it's very, I think it's atypical. I think that's the word for a Nigerian parent to. I keep telling people
Yeah.
that the first time I told my parents that, I wanted to do music, my mom screamed and said, "Ufeshe whiskey."
Isn't that a good thing?
So it's especially, I mean, now in 2022, it's going to be easier because a lot of people are more enlightened and stuff. But
100%, yeah.
early 2000s, it would have taken a lot.
Yeah.
So me hearing now that your mom even had a studio for you and encouraged you and your sister to that's honestly amazing. I can tell, because that now, I mean, grooming these talents from an early age, I think is very important when
Very key.
the interest is like
Is there,
peak
yeah.
and it's not seeming like any form of stress or anything.
Yep.
So I think that's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
So I was already telling you off the pod the essence of this whole podcast and why I do what I'm doing now, to document stories. I mean, I was recently in a space where I met Bankuli and he was talking about creating this Afrobeats documentary and speaking to people from like all the way back to present.
Right.
So I think stories are really important because they help people learn. They also help like general consumers of music see what goes on, and it's not like somebody in quotes knacks beats and another person just comes and sings like
I really hate that term, knack beats. Yeah.
Like people think it's just, you hear creatives going on like creative blogs for 6 months to 1 year and people think it's a joke. It's wild. And I was telling you about the recent space I was in, and I got to see people write songs from scratch, and trust me, I know why I can write songs now, because it's a lot of work, even for like this.
I'm going to disagree with you on that. You're going to write songs. By the time we're done with this podcast,
okay,
you're going to
I
leave,
would want to.
You're going to leave this room considering yourself a songwriter. That is my promise to you.
Okay, no problem. I'll give you guys feedback on that. But basically,
they'll see it live.
Okay, I'm looking forward to that. Well, I really want to get a sort of timeline from the beginning to where you are currently.
Yeah.
Of Dave October or IBK. So it's like 2014, 2015. I mean, CU. If you guys didn't know, that's where I went to school. And I come across Muyiwa Akibe. And from Muyiwa, okay, that was when he had dropped, I think, Rara. I think that was when Rara dropped, or one of those early songs. So I'm in CU, and I come across Muyiwa. I think I come across him first in this group called Speech. I don't know if you know Speech.
Yeah.
This a cappella group. And I was in technical crew then, so I was just starting to get into music, and I come across Rara, and instinctively I've always been the kind of person that wants to know who made these beats, who did this, who did that. And so I do some research and I find out Nonso Amadi. Then from there, that leads me to Squared, who is now Lambskin. And that now leads me to IBK. And then there was also Dixon with Chris Rio. And so, I came across Chris Rio too and stuff. So I was already telling you that I had searched for all these people just to follow them. So I had gone to Squared's Twitter. Then there was this very popular thing on Twitter, Ask.fm. I had read all the questions people asked him and his answers to everything, just skimming through anything related to music. So I'm that deep when it comes to using the right point here. So I'm that deep when it comes to stuff that interests me. I go like deep. So any kind of thing, I was saying that
you go in 1 year.
I go in. I like do a lot. I'm like I like to know. I'm just very detailed with like research and stuff. So there have even been, I showed TUC on one of the previous episodes some pictures of him that he did not even remember. So I had found everybody, but there just seemed to be this missing piece of the puzzle, IBK. And you happen to have done some of like the best songs I heard at that time. So there was this song, I don't know if you even remember, Stunner. Do you remember Stunner? Do you remember? I have the song on my laptop.
Wow.
This is the laptop I've been using since 2016. So I have.
I can't believe. I don't even know what that song sounds like.
You produced STG mixed. So it was baby go down, baby go so for me, come on. Yeah, you probably
don't. Bro,
I'll probably send it to you after I have it.
I remember the guy because he was in my department for like a year.
Oh yeah,
that's why it rings a bell. The name
Stunner and Lyrics. It was Stunner and Lyrics. The one that crazy. So you did that song. Then Chrisio also dropped his Unveiled, I think, EP, and you did Do Better, if I'm not mistaken.
I think on one other song.
I remember the tag. It's IBK. I remember very clearly. I don't know if you know Tesla. Do you know Tesla? He was.
I'm tempted to ask. Never.
He was
obviously
not
the car you're talking about. Tesla.
No. A person in CU. That was his name.
Is it spelled like the
Tesla?
Yeah. No, I don't know.
Okay, probably. So he was in that space creating music with Muiwa and all those people, STG.
Okay.
So I had met Tesla and he introduced me to STG, and STG was in my department too. So I had just come across all those people. So, but I just couldn't find you at that point. And I was just telling you that I had to search Twitter and I found one random picture of you wearing a trad with your hands in your
Yeah.
pocket and your face wasn't even showing well.
Yeah.
So I was like, who's
Typical.
this guy?
Sounds like
Until
me.
I was having like a period of like reflection, and I just posted Chris Rio's EP randomly on my Instagram stories, and he tagged you, and I had been following you already because Tems EP dropped. As usual, I went to the credits, I followed everybody. I was producing and mixing on the. So when he now tagged you, I'm like, I had to text Chris first that, sorry, is this guy before I embarrass myself and go and ask somebody. So basically, all of this is say you are IBK for people that are familiar with that name, and you've evolved in like the past.
I hope so.
Oh no, definitely you have evolved, at least from then to now. There's some form of visibility to you to start.
I'm no longer a ghost.
Yeah, you're no longer a ghost. Your sound has also changed. It has gotten better. Well, I want to know what was working with like, or what was the CU space like for you in terms of music? Because I already know now that you didn't start music in CU.
Yeah, I started in CU.
Oh, but you
Yeah.
started at home, like with your
No,
sister?
that was when we started working
Okay.
on
So
Tumi.
walk me through that
Yeah.
process.
So in many ways, we didn't even know we were doing anything. Making music in CU was an escape. Coming back from classes, like whatever, nothing was exciting. But then you come back, everybody's in the room, you make music till late, piss off your roommates. Hopefully they like the music and they vibe. But that was all fun. Like, it was just fun. Nothing else in CU was exciting enough to engage me at the time. Sports, I wasn't that much into sports. School was just there. I was doing enough to pass. Like, it was business admin. It's nothing too difficult. Had a few other things, but music was the escape. So 100 level, I didn't have a laptop. Then how people started knowing that I made music was I'd literally install Fruity Loops on everybody on my floor's computer. Yeah, like,
So you could go from
yeah. I had this flash drive, then I'd install it on everybody's computer. If Mide is using his computer,
which media is this?
Midway photographer.
Oh, okay.
Or we're roommates, 100 level.
Crazy.
If he's using his computer, I'll go to Shama's room. I'll go to Deji's room. So it was just like that. And I guess in some ways, that was me spreading the word, not intentionally, that, oh, I made music. And then everybody was like, oh, IBK makes beats on my computer at this time. And very soon people were coming to my room, asking me to make beats for them. And I would charge them 3K. And then some of them would price it to 2.5. And then one of them is still owing me 7K till this day.
Oh my god.
I don't want to call his name because I haven't heard from him in a very long time, but he's owing me 7K. If I see him, I'm going to collect that 7K. Because at the time, that was a lot of money.
Yeah.
And he took my nights. I remember spending nights, like, because there was lights out and see you.
Absolutely.
So you literally have to sneak out.
Great silence.
Just trauma, bro. PTSD. He just triggered some.
Oh my days.
Wow. But yeah. Had to spend nights in his room. But all that was fun. Music was fun. The way people used to game, people had sports, people had girls.
Yeah, everybody had
their thing. People had the dance crew.
Yeah.
It was us just making beats in our room and making silly songs. It was silly songs for the most part. It was nothing serious. Think about the songs we dropped back then.
I don't agree.
Plantain Chips.
Okay, no, I don't know. I don't know. All those
Friend Zone. Those were like,
I don't know all those early ones.
those are the most popular ones. Like,
did you have some form of popularity in?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like the ladies. What? So that's the thing. Besides music, I would have gone completely unknown in CU. Because, I mean, as you know, I'm a very quiet person. You don't see me out much. But yeah, people were hearing my music from different departments. People were like stuff and like 4 girls in Nonso's course were looking for me. Like
Crazy.
it was actually my first girlfriend in CU ended up finding me through my music. And I just heard that some girl is looking for me, and I ask who is she, and then she's some fine girl. I'm like,
I went through see you doing music and I was single throughout.
maybe you're doing something wrong, bro. I don't know, bro. But that music was just like, it was my access to things I wouldn't have had access to. In many ways, still today, right? The things I'm doing now, the people I'm working with, people I've been privileged to work with and collaborate with. So all through music, like what else would have brought us together in this moment, right? So it's the same thing as far back as Covenant University. We were having fun, we were learning, we were growing, we were making people happy by making good music.
So you were doing all of this, but then I'm sure at a point you had to realize that, oh, I'm doing something right, and so I need people that are serious to work with. And so, do you get what I'm saying?
Yes, but I'd say it was never an intentional thing for me. I'd say somehow I was blessed. I was kind of lucky in many ways because I was just surrounded by dope people, surrounded by good people. Think about it, STG, Nonso.
So how did
Squared,
you
which
find yourself
we found ourselves? See, not so many people made music in CU.
at that time?
Yeah, music was not the biggest thing in
I
CU.
see.
So if you made beats, you probably know the next guy that made beats because you're getting packs from that guy. You're recording in his room. SCG was the only guy that had a proper mic, and he was the only one that was engineering. So we go to his room. I think the first week I met Nonso, we both went to STG's room, and it
Where
was
did you
him
meet
and
Nonso?
Squared.
Was he also in CDS?
No, that's why I'm struggling to remember how the meeting happened. I don't know. I actually
It's
don't
fine
remember.
if you don't remember.
Yeah. Well, we met and we instantly started spending a lot of time on making music together. Yeah, we went to SCG and Squared's room, and that time I thought I was a singer. So I was singing, also was singing, they were laughing at me. But yeah, eventually everybody just became cool. We started making stuff together. Yeah.
Crazy. So, did Muyiwa come in the process of all of this, and Chris
Right.
Rio also? I want to know how you found those two guys also.
Muyiwa, I met through Nonso. I think they were in the same department. I didn't know him for the most
That would
part
make
of the
sense.
time. Yeah. I think I came back and I knew he had done a song with someone, and then he introduced me to him. Chris Rio, I think he probably came to my room.
So it was a close community of music
Yo,
makers.
yeah, like everybody knew
That's
everybody.
nice.
It's not like
That's
you
nice.
have to,
Look too far.
yeah, exactly, or book dates. Now just walk into somebody's room and you guys are making a song.
You probably be hearing, so you had speakers and stuff, so you probably be hearing like the kicks
Like,
from somewhere.
especially Squared and STG. I was more quiet, but yeah, you would be hearing music.
Crazy,
typically, yeah.
crazy. So I want to fast track to Nonso's Alone project.
Yeah.
So this was me after I had found Squared, I had found Nonso. So I listened to Squared's high volume EP, and it was an all instrumental EP, but I can sing the melodies of every song.
Yeah.
So this was me in my process of deep diving into the people that, so how did I get back into music? I started making beats in quotes on like PSR keyboards in high school.
Interesting.
Shout
I know
out
Geo, PSR. I didn't even start on the PSR.
Bro, so there was this guy, shout out to Omono. He was the lead keyboardist as at the time I got into JS1. So I discovered that because the rap was big then. So I'm talking up like 2006, 7, 8. Rap was big then. This was when Lil Wayne was taking over. So everybody wanted to be a rapper.
Yeah.
I had always been big on music. So imagine me, the first time I heard a delay in a song, I didn't know it was a delay. So the first thing that came to my mind was, oh, they probably recorded this,
I recorded it
duplicated
again, and moved it
shifted
forward.
it. That was so when I'm listening, when I'm listening to songs, I had always been the analytical type of person. Like I hear something repeat, I'm like, oh, how did you do that? So I remember the first time I had tried software like Acoustica, Drum, something. I had tried so many different like online, because internet wasn't a big thing then, so I didn't even have access to. I didn't even know what like where to get plugins and stuff. So the PSR was like the fastest way to do it. And so I came across this guy that was making beats on PSR, on the PSR keyboard of the school. And it was a senior, obviously, so they have the key to chapel and all of
Right.
that. So basically, I got these conversations and blah, blah, blah. Started teaching me, learned a thing or two and stuff. And I started making beats from there. But in all of this, I knew that beyond just making beats, I wanted to create music. I knew that I hadn't gotten the satisfaction I wanted because
Right.
music is like, so I like to tell people that I don't know how to express myself a lot. So even from this conversation, you see that I tend to stutter a bit because, so music is like, it might sound cliche, but it's like my only
doing
form of
great.
expression.
Yeah.
So one of like the best beats I've ever made was from a time where I was in quote dumped. So when significant events like that happen in my life, I just go and I just start.
Damn.
So it's wild.
You broke your heart that bad.
So
To go
that's
start dropping
basically,
melodies.
that's like, honestly, it's music is, I sit down and I think about what music means to me, and I think about how far back my parents will even tell me that maybe I've always been like playing the drums or something. So it begins to make sense now that I'm doing what I'm doing now and I'm where I am now, because I feel this thing is not an acquired taste. It's something that I came with. So back to you now. I was talking about Nonso's Alone EP, and
Yeah.
I had found Nonso, so I was going through like everything I could find on Nonso, and I was just digesting it. And so I squared SoundCloud. I knew there's this particular Ostinato sketch. That's the name of the SoundCloud file. He has taken it down because I went back to it like last year. I didn't find it again. And probably if I talk to him soon, he'll probably laugh at this. But basically, I digested everything I could find about Nonso. And now I was listening to the Alone EP, and I come across Suicidal. I think that's track 4 or 3. And I'm like, what's this? So I see it's Suicidal featuring IBK. Now, I don't know if it's the same IBK that produced Chris Rio's Do Better, or I don't know, because like I said, you were a ghost literally. But I want to clarify that now. Was that you?
Yeah.
So what did you do on that song?
Produced and sang. So Nonso had made the song, most of the song, and then he sent it over. I think this was during a break or something. So we're in school to work on it together. And he sent it over, and I did some additional production, and then did some backing vocals, did some ad-libs. Yeah.
Bro, that song is.
It
If you
feels
check
very
my
good.
if you check my tweets from this year, you probably find that song.
Interesting.
And
In 2022.
I'm not joking. And I'm not even saying this because it's you.
Yeah.
So I try to let people know that this is not like whining.
Yeah.
Like when I like what people do, I was trying to tell Remy Baggins, like I had followed Remy Baggins from the first single he dropped
Interesting.
ever. In fact,
Wow.
like I now, so like I'm very passionate about, like, once I like something, I go all out. So that whole EP was fantastic.
Yeah.
So there was Alone, there was Gilly, there was Suicidal, there was, those are my top songs.
Yeah.
So, but I can sing Suicidal for, I don't know, but I can sing Suicidal for, and the writing on that song, fantastic.
That's Nonso. That's all Nonso.
That's all Nonso.
That's all Nonso.
But still, I mean,
I believe.
it was a joint effort from both of you, and I think it also produced every other thing on that album. So you were like one of the few people that did anything else on that project.
Yeah,
so,
we were home, so we're used to making music in the same space. It's not like
you were in the same
now that
physical
you
space,
that you can really like
virtual,
share files and stuff. Back then, when you're in the same space, it's much easier. When we were rather, so yeah.
So did he give you like a brief? Because I want to understand how you were able to get into the headspace of where he was when
so
he was
me and
creating.
Nonso we're very much musically aligned in many ways. That's why we kind of hit it off as partners in a sense when we're making music in studio, because we used to produce a lot of stuff for people together. Like I would produce, he would mix.
What are your earliest influences before you go on in music?
I can't answer that question. There was so much stuff played in my house. My mom used to play a lot of music. a lot of music, so much music. So I guess I was just soaking all of that in.
Okay.
I can't really name.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Well, back to Nonso.
Yeah. So yeah, we were kind of musically aligned in many ways, and we agreed on the way we wanted music to feel to us, right? So yeah, it was. He didn't need to give me a brief or anything. Just send it to me, yo, IBK.
And you understand.
Just do your thing, because we've been doing this for a couple of years. We've been making beats together, like collaborating on beats. Recently, yes, this year.
Because everybody knows Nonso is back now.
Oh yeah,
from the almost year-long hiatus.
Yes, and he's back with some good music. He's back with some really good music.
So we should expect something from.
Well, let's see. It was a similar arrangement to how we worked last time. So he has a song, sends it over.
Oh, I see.
I just do however I feel.
And there's something that's always bothered me from. This conversation, I don't want it to be so scripted. So as it comes to me, I just say it.
Yeah.
So I like the fact that you guys still work, because I even saw a tweet recently about it where someone said, the way Afrobeat artists dump producers is so sad. So take, for example, a Nice and ID Kabasa.
Yeah.
Look at what he did for him on the Gangwa song album. That album was fantastic. Yeah. But there's been a trend. I'm not speaking about Nice generally, but just in the Nigerian space.
Yeah.
It's the hit producer that everybody wants. And once that producer can't give them what is in vogue, in quotes, they let the person go. And so I don't want to mention some names, but it's not like I have anything against them, but let me not mention names because I don't want trouble. But you understand what I'm saying?
What you mean, yes,
so I really appreciate the fact that you and Nonso still work.
Yeah.
After this long.
Yeah.
Like it makes me happy, because I just feel like there's a certain, and even you've confirmed that there's like a certain chemistry some people have that they should just keep going.
Yeah.
They should just keep going. They shouldn't stop.
And obviously we don't work as much as we used to, because I never even blame artists that after. So I believe people are meant to be in your life for a purpose and for a time. So if I produced an album for Wizkid and that album got him to a point where he can work with anybody he wants to, and it's a smart business decision, it's a smart musical decision to work with this person, I don't see any reason. The producer doesn't necessarily need the sentiment, right?
So I don't want to say you feel like people don't owe people anything, but
it's a tough one to swallow, but I think that's what it is. If you've done your business right, if you've done everything straight, and the person doesn't owe you anything. So let's say I have all the splits signed, I'm getting my checks, everything is straight. I don't owe it to any producer as an artist to come back to walk through your doors again if I don't want to. So yeah, hot take. We're in the middle of a hot take.
You don't feel anybody owes anyone anything?
No one owes anybody anything. I think if I become that producer again that the artist wants to work with, right? If the artist thinks that they walk through my doors and they walk out with a hit, then it makes sense. I don't want anybody coming in and saying they're working with me just because I did something for them in the past.
Not that, but because they know the quality of what you can do, and there's like a genuine synergy between you two. It's just a personnel thing. I don't expect everyone to agree.
So I don't disagree with you at all. Like, trust me. Like, this is one thing that's almost kind of almost personal to me, because I've seen it happen firsthand, and it's happened to me as well. So I know what it is. I know what it feels like. But at the same time, as long as everything is straight and the person made a decision on their own not to work with, then it's fine. Unless you guys signed a deal that's, okay, if I produce this thing for you now, I'm going to produce your next 5 albums, or I'm going to get checks. If there was nothing like that, I don't think any artist should be giving any smoke, or whatever the term is.
Fair enough.
Yeah. No, so it's one of those hard things to swallow.
I know it's a very difficult conversation. It is. Sometimes, like, artists, producers, everybody falls out. Like, especially in this space, it's a very volatile space. So you hear of people. I want to be careful not to say some things I shouldn't say on the pod, but
you're going to edit. No, feel free.
But I've been privy to, like,
it happens with the business side of things. always finds a way to create friction somehow. So it's tough. It's tough. But if you have people dealing with your business straight, like, and people, sincere people that are not looking to sly anyone, so I should be able to say my manager is going to take care of you, and
That's it.
yeah.
So let's even run through the business side of things quickly because it's a very important aspect of all of these conversations too.
Yeah.
So when did you become aware of the fact that there was more to music than just, oh, I pay you for beats and that's it? When did you become aware of that?
I'd say like 5 years ago.
Crazy. So
Right
there's
before
2017.
Yeah.
So before then.
So I was aware of it, but it wasn't a thing I was bothered about. Like I thought much about. Yes, 2017, I started this partnership with my friend Oddio.
I'm gonna get to
So
that.
Oddio, okay, we'll get to that. That's when we started really thinking about business, because we're making original music, we're featuring artists, we're featuring popular artists,
So you
we're
need to get
producing for bigger artists. So we needed to make sure our business was kind of tight.
Okay, because I know like a lot of people I keep giving this example because it's personal to me. I had a friend that I produced something for, and at that point in time I had just become aware of things like publishing splits and stuff like that. So I had told him that, oh, after your advance, which was like how much then, like 30K or so, that we're supposed to split the fees. I said the fees, like the publishing rights and stuff. So there's like a 50-50 split basically, since we both like brought equal energies together. Contributions basically. And the person took it like I was trying to trick him or deceive him and get his streaming money.
Right.
And we kind of fell out afterwards.
Yeah, you can see that's how these things happen. It's not hard. It's not so hard to
It's
fall
not hard to
out.
fall
It's
out.
not hard at all. It's very easy.
So and I don't blame him now because he wasn't also aware. I also have another friend that I was telling that, oh, before I worked with him, that, oh, just letting you know ahead of time, because I don't have management, so I do these conversations for myself and I research all these things myself. So I tell him that, oh, there's something called publishing, and it's not your streaming. It's the intellectual property on the line in the music we're making, and like we're supposed to. So he was like, so you want to take 50% of my song? That's what he said. I'm like, come on. So generally, also with the pod, is the thing I'm trying to do, get more creatives aware of the fact that there is a business side to this thing. There is no, people say there is no pension in music. It's your intellectual property is your publishing that keeps on feeding you. So you hear people selling their publishing to maybe labels or something, or their catalogs rather, for crazy amounts of money, and like that's what's going to sustain you after all of this. So that was just a quick segue. So let's now move into Tems and Oddio. So at this point now, you have transformed from IBK to Dave October.
No. Okay. At this time, I was still very much IBK, but operating mostly as Oddio, mostly with Oddio. So IBK was silent for that period.
Okay. So how did you meet? So Oddio. So tell me about Oddio. Let me know. Even let me hear.
Oddio is a.
So Oddio spelled Oddio.
Oddio. Yes. It's myself and my friend. It's a partnership. He's a producer, a songwriter, a song engineer, just like myself. He does everything. Very good. We met through my sister. Yes.
Tell me the plug.
We met through my sister. First meeting was through my sister.
Was he working with
her? We
her?
actually spent time when I started working with Cobhams, because he was working at Cobhams Studio already.
Interesting.
So he was actually partially responsible for getting me in some ways. In some ways, I believe. Yeah. So we spent time there. We did a lot of work with Cobhams. So we built some sort of chemistry over time, and we thought it was a good idea to put our music together. Yeah.
So what were you doing with Cobhams?
I went there as a producer because he heard Versus, a song I did with Tommy, and he loved it. Put it on his countdown and everything. And I went in there as a producer, but he found an engineer in me, and that became my role at the space.
When was this? Because this is the first time I'm hearing about it.
16, 17. 18.
And how long? So you did that for like 3 years.
Like 2.5 years, 16, 17, 18. Yes.
So you were like payroll, you were...
Yes, I was an full-time engineer. I was recording everybody. I was mixing everybody that came through the doors. Even some of Cobhams' original music, I engineered.
Can you give me like an example of some of the songs you've worked on?
Oh, wow. I did...
It's too much.
It's a lot. I can't even remember everything. No, I hadn't started working there at the time. I did one hit song. Struggling to remember the titles, but I did one hit song.
You did one with Flowers?
That was right before Bullshit. That was right before. And then we used to do a lot of commercials. So we did the Union Bank, Jumia commercials, all that stuff.
Wow, that's
recording with Yemi Alade, Korede Bello, Timmy Dakolo, Two-Face.
So that was
everybody,
how you...
basically.
I'm guessing that was how you got to meet a lot of big people?
Not necessarily, because most of the people that walk through those doors are coming to work with Cobhams. Right, so obviously I'm learning a lot. I'm meeting people, but not meeting them in a sense where I'll now solo produce a song for them. So if I'm working with them, it's under the Cobhams umbrella. Right. So I met people there, but I wouldn't say I started working like individually with a lot of those people. Everybody I ended up working with was as a result of, okay, I like what you're doing. You like what I'm doing. Let's get together. Let's make some music. It was simple conversations.
So I want to know how Cobhams influenced who you are now.
All right. I learned so much, and
generally just working like, because Cobhams is a very special person, and I mean everyone knows his condition, but regardless of that, he has defied the odds and he has been able to do like I've seen him. I mean, he posts some of these videos online, and you see him. I see him running some skills sometimes, and I'm like, this is wild.
Cobhams is amazing.
The way he thinks. So I want to know
what it's like
from someone that has experienced it firsthand.
Very interesting. I mean, just watching how creative he is, how quick he is, how musically deep he is, how humble he is, how down to earth he is. Everything, really. He's just an all-around great person. I learned a lot watching him produce. Made me a much better engineer, because if you're engineering for Cobhams, you have to be
high taste, high standards. Yeah.
Exactly, you have to be on your game. So yeah, and I went in there I didn't go in as a professional engineer.
But he took that chance.
Yeah, he heard that I had a decent ear for mixing, and then basically helped me refine.
From your sister?
Yes, and then he gave me some test things to do when we started working.
No way.
Yeah, and there was no other engineer. I think that was the main reason, because there was no other engineer in that place. But maybe my work was good enough, just maybe.
So how did you I even want to know, because, I mean, a lot of times when I speak to people, I also try to reflect on myself too, because you went to school, you studied something, but you come out and you're doing something entirely different. And I mean, you asked me before this that do I practice what I did in school and stuff. So how did you, or why did you leave business administration?
I was never in business.
So right out of school, let's say you did NYSC, what was the first job you did?
It was a studio. During NYSC, I was a studio. It was always music.
Were you ever scared that it wasn't going to work out?
No, I was never. I was making 3K in school from making beats, man. I had seen that there was a future in this thing. Do you know what it meant to make income as a student in Cobhams University?
True.
You can't really do business in that school.
Bro.
So I'm just making my beats and people are paying me, and then I can go weeks without asking my parents for money.
Pocket money, yeah.
So it felt like I was already independent to some level. So in my mind, this is a sustainable career. I just have to find ways to scale. And obviously in the real world, I can charge more for my work.
Because it's very... I'm trying to look at myself right now and see how I can relate with you.
Yeah.
But I'm the kind of person that, bro, if I don't see 10 years ahead right now, I'll be scared to dive in. I'm not biggest risk taker. And I'll say what you did was a big risk. So, I mean, shout out to you for that because it can't be me.
I can't take credit for it because it felt like I never made any conscious like decisions. It just felt like the natural way for things to proceed for me. Like I was making music in school. Right from secondary school, I was making songs, but not producing, I was making music. So after school, it felt like this is what I know how to do. It's pretty much the only thing I could do well.
That's how I feel too.
Yeah, I used to draw before and stuff. I was kind of good at it. Like music, business didn't really interest me as much.
But why? Quick segue.
I did not pick business admin.
Okay, so who picked
I
it?
was literally in the business center place, and my brother was with me. I'm like, man, what do I pick to study in this school?
No way.
My brother just picked business admin.
So you could have picked, and it could have been anything. It could have been maybe biology or something.
No. Obviously, he knew I wasn't going to be very serious with it. So I'm like, just give me something light. I walked in there intending to pick architecture. Then he asked me, are you sure?
I think you will have regretted
Yeah, and
that.
thank God for asking me that question.
Architecture
at
and
the time.
CU, bruh.
Because I probably would have been able to make music.
Yeah.
So yeah. Thank God for my brother. So yeah, business was, I never even like acknowledged.
I just wanted to find out.
Yeah. And they made me the president in the department. No. Just to show you how.
So you would have seemed like the kind of person that would go out and maybe work in a bank or and wear a suit and tie.
Yeah, I seemed responsible, I guess. Like, I deceived everybody.
These guys.
I seemed like like I was doing well in school. I was friendly. I was quiet. I was chill. Then I made music. So they just felt like I had my shit together to some level.
Fair enough. So back to Tems now. So I wanted to find out how you met Tems.
Oh, I met Tems. Okay. So this is a year into Oddio already. We were no longer working at Cobhams at this. We had gone out on our own to start making music. We had dropped Scared, which Cobhams jumped on. God bless him. Like, he jumped on our first song ever. That's a real belief. And had a couple of songs out. We were literally in the studio trying to work on some music. And then Tejiri, my partner, was going through Instagram. We'd been looking
Tejiri being the other half of Oddio.
Yes,
just for
other half of Oddio. Yes,
follow.
Yes. Now we're looking for an artist to finish a song, and we couldn't find anyone. And then Tejiri is going through Instagram, and he shows me Tems' page. At this time, she hadn't dropped any music, like nothing. So she had a couple singing videos, and we listened. I'm like, whoa, what a voice! Like, we hadn't heard anything like that before. It was just so unique. It was just like nothing else. The power in her voice, the texture, the passion. Like, you could see that this babe really wanted to sing. And then we DM'd her. She responded. And she lived like 15 minutes away. We were living at South Point at the time.
Where is that?
South Point is, do you know Lekki Conservation Center?
Oh, okay. So you've been in this area?
Yeah, since I left school, I kind of moved over here when I started working with Cobhams in Lekki. Yeah. So yeah, she was living at Chevron. We were at South Point. That's less than a 10-minute drive. So she came the same day or the next day. And then yeah, we just started making music from there. We made a bunch of songs. And Mr. Rebel, Luku, Love Me Down.
You made like her first set of major SoundCloud songs. Let me not say SoundCloud songs because that sounds offensive. But I mean, I grew up in the SoundCloud era.
Yeah.
And that was like the major streaming platform for us.
Yeah.
Like upcoming guys then.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So it's just a lot of the first. I
think you did higher too.
First releases. Yeah. We did higher. So yeah, that was fun. I mean, with Tems, it was a seamless experience. Like, I think I made a post about it. Like, she was ready from the jump. Like,
I mean, it's no surprise she's where she is now.
I mean, no one knew we would. No one knew if we tell you that we knew she would go this far. Obviously, we all hoped that everybody we work with goes as far as possible. But especially in the time that it happened, we didn't know. But she did have what it took. Why is that so messed up?
No,
she had what it took.
It's correct. She did have what it took.
Whatever, man. Fuck English. But yeah. Yeah, she was dope from the jump. And she was ready to work. There was a day my mom came to look for me in the house at like 7:30 a.m. or 8 a.m. And she sees Tems in the studio. And then my mom calls me out of the house when she's leaving. And she thinks I'm like having girls over. I'm like, no, she just came this morning. Like, she came this morning.
Typical African parent.
She was like, stop this thing you're doing. They are following all these music people. I'm like,
Hey.
And there was nothing I could tell her in the moment.
Yeah.
And Tems, like, when she comes to the studio, she's like dressed in her like comfort clothes, like overall. Yes. So she looks like she's waking up, the type of thing. So yeah, just to show how serious she was about what she was doing. She was in the studio that early to finish working on some music.
Crazy. And because she lived close to you, she could come at that time.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah. That was a very fun period. I enjoyed making songs with her. I really enjoyed it.
I don't know when this podcast is going to come out.
Yeah.
Because there's some things I don't want to say. But the person I spoke to you about that I worked on his album happened to have Tems in space on one of these days. And I was ready that, Tems is coming today, so we're going to work and stuff, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, nah, I need to work when I'm comfortable. So you see, she said she likes to be alone in the studio, just in her space. I think she said she likes candles.
Yeah. So there was moments like that, obviously. With every artist, it's not always record. And artists are different. She's the type of person that wants to be really comfortable. I guess that's why it took her such a long time to find a space where she could put music out from. Because she would go to different studios and they would like be trying to mess with her sound. It's like stuff you don't want to do to a new artist. Like why don't you do this afro like this, do that like that. And then when she came into our space and saw that we were basically down to do whatever she wanted to do, like basically help her bring her own ideas to life and not get in the way of that, I guess she found some comfort in that and could make music in that space, which I think is a big thing for producers. Like with new artists, it's important to create a space that artists want to work in.
It's like you mentioning that, the person that comes to my mind is like Oxlade and Sparks.
Exactly.
That relationship, like you can always tell that, no.
And especially for female artists, like that's the reason I'm saying that, since most of the producers are guys, I've spoken with so many female artists that really don't want to get in the studio with most producers, and it's very unfortunate that that's going on.
Predatory, like, industry.
So many stories, so many stories. So it's like, I guess this is my urge or my little bit of advice to male producers to make the spaces feel as safe as possible for the female artists.
I've seen a couple of tweets about this, and I mean, you might never know how serious it is until you start to hear like firsthand experience.
100%. Just like almost every other space, especially in Nigeria and around the world, really. Like, it's unfortunate, but it's sad that should be happening in music as well, because that can kill a career.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, a talent that could otherwise be greatness, like, is discouraged from making music because they don't feel like they're safe in any space. So yeah, I don't know how we got here, but
we're talking about Tems and
right. So yeah, I guess she felt comfortable, but obviously there was moments where she was like, okay, no, she wants to be in her thing. Like when she wanted to finish "Love Me Down," she took that back home and finished that in her space. I'm like that too, so I completely understand. Yeah.
And so as Oddio now, you happen to be on her first EP. I forget the name right now.
The Key?
The Key is the name of the song. Let me quickly Google that. But
that's crazy. How don't I know this?
But like, that was how I came across Oddio, because Omeza mixed the project. And Omeza happened to be in my high school in Port Harcourt.
Interesting.
His younger brother, Daniel, was my classmate. So like, I had been familiar with like Omeza's work. So once before a song drops, I was telling you, like, first thing I do once they drop track list, I'm going to check credits. Yeah. Because the producers 70% determine if I'm going to listen to that project or not. Yeah. Right. So I go there, I see familiar names. I see Omeza executive producing for Broken Ears.
For broken ears, yes, yes.
So
I'm sorry, Tammy. for not
there was
remembering that
Interference,
track.
Ice-T, Free Mind, Higher,
Ice-T.
Damages, and The Key.
Ice-T. That song is one of my favorite songs because I mean we had recorded going back to like what she's like and like what you said, what your experience with her in the studio was. We had recorded Ice-T at least 2-3 times. Then each time we listened to it, like, okay, no, it's not right, it's not right, it's not done, it's not done. So that was interesting to see. And then when I heard the final version,
Trying
she
to think of
eventually.
what the former versions were like.
So they were all good. Like
Was it the
obviously,
same arrangement and stuff? Same
70% same arrangement, 70% same beats, almost everything the same. Because she had the song before she even met us, before she even came in the studio. Yeah, because she used to like make beats on her
Maybe
laptop and
then
record
guitar
herself.
accompaniment, yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, she'd had that song even before Mr. Rebel, I think.
Nice.
But we did miss. Yeah, that whole story just went as it went. But
It's
yeah,
crazy. So when I saw the track list and I saw Oddio, and I'm like, what's this? So I think I googled, I didn't see anything specific. Then I went to Instagram and I saw this picture of two guys.
black and white.
Yeah, the black and white picture. Then so I just followed. Then I see, I think maybe in the bio there's like a description. So I see Dave October and Tejiri,
Yeah.
TJ, something like that. So I'm like, what are these guys? So that's how I just go. I just keep going and I just keep deep diving and finding everyone. So like I said, Omeza mixed. So I'm like, oh, definitely, I know him. So I'm going to, and if he can work with these people, then it's probably going to be good.
Yeah.
So that was how I found your new version.
Yeah. 2.0.
So, in the process of all of this too, I now discovered that. So I came back to Lagos in 2019, December. I grew up in Port Harcourt, like I said. So I want to say I moved back here for NYSC, but that's a lie. I came back here for music. So in that period, I remember, because the only thing I watch on TV is like MTV Base, Trace, Sound City. I just keep scrolling between them back and forth. And there was this particular song that was on Trace every 2 hours.
What song was that?
And you can be my baby.
Oh wow! Every 2 hours,
Bro, Trace, I don't know. Trace literally forced that song on me. So I grew up
That's crazy.
on a lot of Yoruba, fast-paced, high-tempo songs.
Yeah.
So it was a surprise when, that's a surprise. It was a surprise when that's a song that slow could grow on me, and I'm like, what's this? And I had never heard of Tolani before.
Interesting.
So obviously I did my research, discovered that she was an Otedula member, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
So next thing, who produced the song?
Yeah.
And I see the ghosts that we've been looking for all the while. I'm like, okay, interesting.
Yeah.
So and that song, so you even posted something on your highlights of people commenting on the YouTube channel that song doesn't sound Nigerian. And that's facts, because I would have never expected that a Nigerian producer. It doesn't, which is why I told you at the beginning that your sound has evolved. So right from time, your sound has never been the regular stuff. I mean, you can always infuse a few similar elements for people to get more comfortable. For them to connect. But your sound has always been different, and I think that's one thing I appreciate about the work you do, because maybe Baby was completely different, and I'm like, I'm sure I have a remake on my FL Studio, and I'm not joking.
It's crazy because I met like 2 producers in the last 3 months that have their own version of that song. I'm like, what's going on?
That song is something else. So tell me, what was working with Tolani like? How did you guys meet? How did that happen?
She's dope. She's like everyone I work with. Honestly, remember I said when we started, like, it feels like I was just blessed in many ways to just come across dope people. Not one of these situations was me saying, begging somebody that, I want to work with you, or this, I want to do that, or sending 20 beats and hoping.
So you never sound like a beat pack to anyone?
No, obviously at some point
after the relationship has developed, for sure.
Yes. So it was never like I'm trying to DM this person. Everything just happened naturally. So with Tolani, We met through Bizzle. Yeah, we met through Bizzle, yes.
You know a lot of people, though.
So we had started doing audio, and Bizzle had taken interest in what we were doing because we were making some interesting stuff. And Bizzle is a great guy. His ears are always on the ground for new music and like who's doing something interesting. And he finds a way to support. So yeah, shout out to him.
Shout out to Bizzle.
Yeah, and then Tolani's manager, Bemini, reached out. And then we got
Sony guy?
No. Bemini is Tolani's manager. She's also Adekunle Gold's manager.
Oh, okay, yes.
So we get in the studio with them, and she sings us some songs, and I just fall in love immediately. Like her songwriting is just, it's my type of music in many ways. Like I think that's one consistent thing with everyone I've worked with. Somehow we agree musically. That's why I'm able to actually work with them. Otherwise, it's not going to work out.
So would you say that? So you can't work with like a Lamba?
I can. Now I know how to.
Okay.
At the time, I didn't know how to. At the time, I only knew how to do.
You know what I mean by Lamba?
Yes. I can. Definitely, 100% can at this point. It's a question of if I want to.
Okay.
Yeah. But
So
if I find...
you always look for that connection first. You're not more after the money. Because I mean, it's a means to an end for some people. So I can understand. I mean, I don't blame anybody for. Yeah. Everybody's trying to survive, and especially in like Nigerian space. Come on.
Yeah.
So when I see some collaborations, and I'm like, was this? Are you trying to tell me this was genuine? I question a lot of songs I hear these days.
Yeah.
So are you saying you wouldn't do that?
Oh no. Like obviously, as a producer, you're here. You're doing this as a business. So obviously there's projects I've done where I didn't necessarily fall in love with the artist or fall in love with the music, but then I saw that I could bring value to it, right? But the work that you would consider great now, like the only reason you're talking about these songs is because something about them is good. So the things that somehow manage to cross that line and become a point of reference just happens to be stuff that I fell in love with from the jump. Right, because then I put my heart into it. I do everything to make sure it's the best song. Like, yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah, so Tolani sang a few songs. Very first song she sang, We Did. It's not even out till today. I can't wait for that song to come out. I don't know why they're holding it.
Artists and holding hard drive records.
As in such a boy, I know, and she has plans for it. It's a very beautiful song.
Yeah, I think because all the songs she has dropped have been, she doesn't have a lot out, but what she has out is really good. Yeah. And I like that because it shows the intentionality with which you're doing the music. Yeah. So there's, I think the one that produced by Ikeli Liar, I love that song so much. Yeah. So I definitely am looking forward to music that she'll be putting out.
Yeah, she's a musician, like she's a proper musician.
That's interesting.
She records herself, she does all her takes, she sits in Logic, everything. She sends you the sessions, everything is organized.
Like, you play any instruments?
I play the keyboard, but when I say play, I use that word very loosely. Like,
because I asked that because there is a very, I don't know if it's just me, but the melodies I hear on the stuff you do.
Yeah, that was my background. Playing the keyboard was my background. I wasn't great at it.
I just knew there had to be a form of formal training to it, because you don't hear
formal training. Interesting.
When I say so, I mean,
I get what you mean.
Even if it's not like you went to school for it or Muson Center or something, maybe you played in a church. So it's like Mastercraft, for example. Yeah. You would know Mastercraft is not somebody that picked up FL Studio and started clicking
100%.
keys.
Yeah.
It's like feels.
Yeah.
So it's not a diss to anyone that can't play keys. Yeah. It's just that it always shows. Yeah. It's like Zaytoven. I don't know if you know Zaytoven. Yeah. These guys, it always the
Scott
Storch. Come on, I mean, he always finds a way to Mike Dean. You always find those very musical elements coming into their production, no matter how much you try to mask it. Yeah. So maybe Baby was the progression of that song alone is not your typical 251 or is that song even on a major key? I don't think so.
It is.
It is?
Yeah, it is.
But like the movement of the song wasn't regular.
And the colors used on the chords were interesting. So that's why it feels like it wasn't a major progression.
Okay.
Because like I think these
expanded colors
suspended.
And stuff. Okay,
I think,
you were having
he's a
like
lot
suspended
suspended
colors and stuff like that. Speaking of colors, you work with Sute Iwar on
Sute.
his colors. Was that an EP now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sute has so many projects, albums, and EPs.
Did you work on 1990X? I don't know if that's
yes.
But I really like Lifestyle. And
Lifestyle.
I mean, we played the song before we started recording. It's just that I can't play it now because of copyright and stuff. But in the process of me researching you, because I went through all your highlights, let's just start from there.
You're welcome. I made your job easy for you.
I came across Lifestyle. I was just scrolling when I heard like that intro, that bass. I'm like, what's this? So I go and listen to it and I'm like, what is this? And then Sute just comes in, testify. Energy, I'm like, come on.
And a lullaby.
Like, it was so perfectly crafted. Yeah. And if not for the little mix thing we just noticed right now, we would have comfortably said that song is a perfect song.
Wow.
So how did you meet him?